I'm Samara from CauseIThrive.com. I also have an IG, which is called Cause I Thrive. And today I want to talk to you about soul contracts, aka life's purpose, aka what is the point of us all being here on this little rock that's hurling its way through space. Again, if you've seen my blog before, I said a really important disclaimer in there, and I want to say it here too. I'm not intending to convince anyone to believe what I believe, but I am intending to be honest and open about what I believe, and I encourage you to think your own thoughts and feel your own feelings and have your own opinions. And like, who am I to tell you what to think? I'm just here to tell you what I think. And I do have a very intentionally curated belief system, and I will say that most of the beliefs that I hold because they help me in some way. So today I want to talk to you about what I believe we are all doing here on this planet, this floating rock, and how believing that has helped me. And then I'll talk a little bit about some of the ways that if you would like to adopt this belief, you can start to think about how it might apply to you personally. So lots of good stuff, and let's get started. So, soul contracts. What is a soul contract? Well, assuming that you are a soul with a human body, before your soul and your body got matched up, and you went on your way to this planet, your soul signed an agreement with the universe, with God, with however you want to describe it, and with all of the other souls. And that agreement was that we would all come onto this planet to uplift and uphold the highest good for everyone involved. And so since all of the souls signed this contract, everyone involved really just means everyone on the planet. So all of the peoples, and some people take this even further and say all of the animals and all of the plants and everything that exchanges oxygen with the universe. And some people will go even further and say inanimate objects too. But for our purposes today, a soul contract is the fact that your soul agreed to come onto this planet in order to uplift and uphold the highest good for all involved, asterisks, whoever those people or things are. Now, highest good seems very subjective. The way that I think about it is everyone has their own ideal life. Everyone has at least some memory of a really great day that they had, and they hopefully want to live a life where they can have that kind of day more and more and more, and maybe even every day. So highest good is helping us all get to the place where we can genuinely have days that make our hearts sing more often than not. And I genuinely do believe that humans are benevolent. I have a lot of thoughts and feelings about the fact that humans are confused, but well-meaning at their core, at our core. And so let's talk a little bit about how having this belief has helped me. And so the first thing that it's helped me with is it's really helped me in incredibly challenging situations. So I talked about this or alluded to this in the blog post. It's going to be in the description if you want to check it out. But I've had a lot of pain in my life, as we all have, right? I went through a lot of trauma at the hands of a lot of people, and I spent so much time wondering why me? Why did I have to go through this? I'm just a kid. What did I do to deserve this? I didn't do anything wrong. And those are all very natural and normal and reasonable and like worthy thoughts to have because they are organic, and that's just what happens when you go through a challenging situation. But at some point, you have to realize that why you is effectively just a self-defeating thought that makes you continue to justify that there's something fundamentally wrong and helps you subconsciously keep searching for what you did to bring about the situation. Now, especially if you're talking about something like childhood trauma, it's so futile to try to justify to yourself how you created that situation. You just didn't. And so for me, what's been really helpful is to think about the fact that long ago, all of our souls agreed with each other that when we got to Earth, we were going to help each other thrive. And so, again, if we all agreed to help each other thrive, why am I going through this traumatic event? Well, going through this traumatic event taught me a lot of life lessons. It taught me how to stand on my own 2 feet. It taught me how to grow up before I was ready, which some people would say is a bad thing, but for me, it's made me a really independent person. It's given me a lot of confidence in my ability to provide for myself, to show up for myself, to lean on myself, and it's really ultimately helped me to forgive the people in my life who put me in those situations, because I know that at their core, these situations were designed to grow me into the person that I am today. And believing that at the core, all of these situations were for my benefit and for my highest good has really helped me to approach my relationships differently and to show up differently in my life. And I'm going to talk about forgiveness at another time, but anything that you can latch onto that will lead you on a path where you can forgive people is really one of the most valuable things that you'll ever have. So, that is way number 1. Way number 2 is that it has really helped me to kind of discern what is something that is actually helping me live out my life's purpose and what's something that's a distraction or something that really doesn't hold any value for me. So we are all here to uplift each other's highest good, and one of the really cool and important things about that is that you can do that in the way that only you can. And so there are a lot of things about you, you know, where you were born, what languages you speak, like, you know, what you studied or didn't study, and all of these little tiny, like what you like to eat every day, and whether you're a runner or a dog person, or just the little mundane and really, really big monumental things about you that make you who you are. And understanding this soul contract thing has really helped me to lean into that and to see that everything that makes me who I am is an asset and is a strength, because it's giving me the tools that I need to do my own little piece in this really giant task of uplifting the highest good. And so there were a lot of times in my life where I tried to change who I was, I tried to be different than, you know, what felt right for me, and once I really leaned into this whole soul contract thing, I got over that for the most part, still working on it, but I got over it, and I really stepped into the place of who I am is exactly who I'm supposed to be, and I don't need to get distracted by who other people are, because that's just who they're supposed to be, but it has absolutely nothing to do with me. And so those are 2 of the main ways that soul contracts have helped me. I'm sure that I'll think of more, and when I do, I'll come back. But if you're thinking about this, if you're listening to this and this is like the 7 millionth time you've heard of a soul contract, or if this is the very first time and you're curious and you want to know, like, hey, what's my puzzle piece? What's my life's purpose? How can I get in on helping people achieve the highest good for all involved? I am so glad you asked, and I'm gonna go through a couple of tips, 3 in particular, that I have personally used that I think you could try. Okay, so tip 1. Ask the people in your life what value you bring to them. Now, if you have a great relationship with people, or if you're on that wavelength with people, you could really just directly go ask them. If that seems really awkward for you, it does for me in particular, you can reflect to yourself and think like, okay, so when I think about my best friends or my family members that I'm close to, what is it that they're asking me for? What is it that they're coming to me with? And so if your friends are always coming to you with their problems and they really want to talk things out with you, then maybe part of your life's purpose is to be a really good listener and to hold space for people. If your friends are always coming for advice, then maybe part of your life's purpose is to point people onto a path, or to really rely on the fact that people trust you and to be a source of really good, affirming, positive information. So just start to think about like, what is the value that I bring to my really close relationships, and how can I use the way that people already value me to make sure that I'm bringing about the highest good for all involved, or for as many involved as possible right now. The second one is to really reflect on maybe the people you aren't so close to, or maybe the people that have hurt you. As I've already talked about a little bit, this belief system has really helped me through some challenging situations. And one of the things I'd encourage you to do is to reflect on how some challenging situations that you've gone through have really taught you deep lessons. So what are some of the lessons that you've learned from your different heartbreaks, your failures, your disappointments, anything that maybe didn't live up to your expectations or felt unfair? Did you learn anything from that? Is there anyone who you could forgive? And when you start to reflect on those lessons that you've learned, you get a clear picture of, I'm on this planet to learn X, and maybe I'm on this planet to help other people learn that as well. So that's been a really helpful one. And then the last one is to really just go within and ask yourself. So I'm a huge fan of journaling, and I'm going to put some journal prompts down in the description for you. But basically, I like to make a lot of lists because lists are quick, and lists really help you get into your subconscious mind and get into a flow. And so there are 3 kinds of lists that I want you to make if you feel inclined, and I will be putting those lists in the description for you to check out. Now, before I go, a question that I get a lot is, okay, Samara, you're talking about this life's purpose thing, but I am in my 20s, I have no idea what I'm doing with my life, and I feel like I'm here to do a lot of things, all kinds of things. Don't make me pick. And so what I say to that is, first of all, you don't have only one life's purpose. Your life has an overarching theme, and your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to try to bring about a good energy for as many people as possible, for as many people as you interact with, and to do your little part in this work that we're all engaging in more and more. Now that can look all kinds of ways. It can look like the way you show up at work. It can look like, the job that you have, or not. It doesn't always have to look like the job that you have. It can look like the kinds of people that you choose to interact with, the kinds of art that you create. It's really just something that pulls through your entire life, and it's not necessarily me saying like drop everything and pick one thing that you want to do for the rest of your life. That doesn't make sense, and it's not true. So hopefully that cleared that up. And in summary, I just want to say, thank you guys so much for listening and for watching. This is a really new project for me, but it's something I'm incredibly excited about. If you haven't already checked out the blog, the link to that is going to be in the description, and I talk a lot about how soul contracts and that theory has really shaped my life and is, a huge part of why I'm even doing this work now. So you can check out the blog. You can follow the IG if you haven't already. And if you're thinking about, really trying to understand what you're doing on this planet, really tapping into the journaling exercises I talked about and really digging deep into it, you might come across some challenges. I'm just going to say it. It's hard work. It's not for the faint of heart. And if you're coming across challenges, or if you just want a fresh perspective, There are lots of ways that you can work with me one-on-one. I would love, love, love the chance to guide you in uncovering your soul contract and in uncovering your life's purpose. And so if that sounds good to you, I will also have all of that info in the description, and I will see you in the future. Bye!